Thank you, Paul. Right, I'm going to start basically with the context. As you know, banking is broken and has been broken for a while now. You've seen with the financial crisis that the role of banks, who normally is to fund the economy, has shifted to fund just speculation. With cheap money, quantitative easing, the businesses are no longer funded really. If you look at where the money has been lent to, it's been mainly lent to either speculation on the housing market, or it's been going to the stock market or other financial assets. So where does this leave businesses and people? It leaves them in a very tight situation. The reason why the crisis of 1929 was so hard was because of a liquidity crisis, because it was hard for people to get money. Now, it's not just banking that's broken, it's even central banking. As you may know, central banks are supposed to be providing some sort of stability to the markets, but if you look at the track record that they've had over the last 100 years, it's actually really bad. They haven't done a very good job at providing this stability. Since the Federal Reserve Bank has been in place in 1913, 100 years and something, it's been going from boom to bust to boom to bust. And the level of debt now that's been accumulated in various countries is so phenomenal that if there is a crash in the government bond market in any country such as the US or the UK or Japan, it's going to have some terrible repercussion for the rest of the economy, even worse than what we've seen in 2007, 2008. So now we have the ability to use new forms of funding. Cryptocurrencies are coming. Bitcoin is definitely leading the way, enabling people to have access to new forms of funding. And I'm actually going to pass on the mic now to Simon, because he's doing very much that.
Okay, thank you, Hakim. How many have I met before? How many of you are new to me? I tell you what, meet first. How many have met me before? Okay, well, just a brief introduction. My name is Simon Dixon. I actually come from the traditional world of investment banking, which I left in 2006, and set up my first business, which I got that angel funded. The guy was actually a billionaire called Peter Hargreaves, and he found a company called Hargreaves Lansdown. And I went through that process of trying to persuade rich people to buy into your idea after a career of raising billions for large companies. And I got really, really excited round about, I think it was, I wrote this book called Bank to the Future. And I was talking about these obscure things back then called crowdfunding and bitcoins and things like that. That got me invited to one of the first Bitcoin conferences in Prague. Since then, it's been an amazing, interesting journey. In front of you, you'll see a little flyer we got for a company that I set up, co-founded, called banktothefuture.com. And essentially, banktothefuture.com is a regulated equity crowdfunding platform. It took us 2 years to go through the painful task of lobbying and getting a product that the FCA wasn't really too concerned about to be regulated and recognized. And now it's actually a fully regulated platform through a partnership we have. Anyway, what I wanted to talk to you about tonight is three trends which I think are really exciting. And the reason that Hakim and myself wanted to sponsor tonight is because we really want to get a message out there about this amazing opportunity we currently have with Bitcoin in London. I was kind of delighted to see the news that California recognized Bitcoin and digital currencies as a legal tender. But at the very same time, there was a little part of me that says, fuck Silicon Valley. We've got this amazing opportunity in London. And here we go again. Silicon Valley are going to start taking this to the next stage, and the venture capitalists are all going to jump in, and the venture capitalists are going to swallow up a load of companies and build the next phase of companies that are all going to be exited and sold to banks and all sorts of things in the future. And I thought, you know, what an amazing opportunity we currently have here in London. And as Coinscrum has grown over the last few months from a few people sat around a table to the amazing thing that I saw a couple of weeks ago. Who was there when Andreas was there and all the others? That was just buzzing. You know, I think that we have this amazing opportunity because of three trends to actually make London the leader for entrepreneurship in the Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain, alternative, Ethereum, whatever it is. I want to see all of you build businesses on top of that, because I think that it's got such an amazing disruptive opportunity for positive, in a positive way. And so, why London? Well, there's kind of three things, and there's three trends. First one's a global trend, and that is that thanks to decentralized technologies and the internet, and the greatest invention since the internet, i.e. Bitcoin, there's been this amazing opportunity and a booming economy that's emerged outside of a disastrous economy where people are looking for jobs. We've got, you know, this destructive economy out there where essentially we're pumping money into a system trying to kick down the can down the road a little bit further. And although we talk about governments creating too much money and quantitative easing, and essentially quantitative easing is just pumping money into the banking sector, and then the banking sector is pushing money into increasing property prices, which is the inflationary part of the economy, which adds no value and creates very few jobs compared to the productive side and the business side of the economy. And essentially redistributing that way, but it's a bit of an exaggeration about how much money governments actually create, because by far the greatest creator of money is the banking sector. And digital currencies, digital money has been around a long time, and it's been created by banks for a long time. But the difference being is that it's done in not a transparent way, but it's done in a completely untransparent way in a centralized ledger, and all backed by debt, which is interest bearing, and essentially a Ponzi scheme. So if anyone calls Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme, actually the original digital money called bank money is the biggest Ponzi scheme out there. But we've got this opportunity really today, and that is that for not much more than the internet connection, a laptop and a smartphone, you can actually start building a business upon the blockchain or whatever it is. And over the last 3 months or so, I've been immersing myself in the startup scene in London with the Bitcoin community. And we've been incubating businesses. We've been incubating Bitcoin ATMs. We've been incubating some exchanges that are soon to be released that have banking relationships as well. We've been incubating payment systems, point-of-sale terminals, and there's some amazing innovation that's actually coming from London. We've incubated about 10 of those businesses right now. And that's all because of this first trend that I talked about, that with an internet connection, a laptop and a smartphone, a startup can be formed. And in a community, in an environment like this, people can put together opposite skill sets, people that can code with people that can sell, with people that are just passionate about this, and people that are good at marketing, and businesses are really being formed. The second trend that's kind of unique to the UK, and why I think UK has this perfect opportunity, is one of the businesses that we just incubated. We got the very first Bitcoin business that I'm aware of in the world to qualify for this amazing tax incentive that we have in the UK. It's called the Seed Enterprise Investment Scheme. And why that sounds really geeky, and we've beaten to death tax and regulations, and I don't want to go down that path anymore. But the UK government, we lobbied for a number of years to implement a tax structure which encourages people not to invest in property but to invest in businesses, essentially. And what the government have done is they've offered people that invest in businesses, UK businesses that qualify for this tax scheme, up to 85% tax relief by investing in companies. And immediately, for example, you could right now invest £1,000 in a Bitcoin startup that qualified for this scheme. And you could immediately claim back about 500 quid if you're paying income tax at the moment. And there'd be more tax for you, but I don't want to go into the geek of it. But just the essence of it is that now investing in companies has become a kind of a tax saving strategy. So now we're in a scenario in the UK, 100% unique to the UK. Silicon Valley is envious of this opportunity, and we have this opportunity to kick Silicon Valley's ass with it. And so, there's the tax scheme is really unique. The community, the largest Bitcoin community meetup group in the world, as far as I'm aware. And the third thing is something that I'm really excited about, which is what we've been working on for the last 2 to 3 years, which is in the UK we invented equity crowdfunding. And equity crowdfunding is an alternative, I think, in the not too distant future, to having venture capitalists that want to take a massive percentage of your company and sell you off to a bank in 3 years' time because they don't give a fuck about Bitcoin, they give a shit about making money. And equity crowdfunding has produced an alternative to that. So you're all familiar with Kickstarter and what they've actually done, and Indiegogo, a little bit more decentralized and a little bit more democratic. But equity crowdfunding is like an online dragon's den. Essentially, you pitch your business, but anyone can be a dragon and anyone can invest as little as 10 quid. But put these three trends together and you have the making for something really exciting in the UK. And here's what it is, and here's what all that was about. Firstly, you have a buoyant, vibrant community of entrepreneurs and businesses, hopefully a lot of you in this room, that are looking to build things in the disruptive finance, in the center of financial innovation, in fact, in the center of financial fraud that we call London. And we have the opportunity to do something amazing from that. At the very same time, we're going to have a truckload of money as a result of this tax scheme that the UK government has implemented, whereby people can invest in your company and they can get massive tax incentives, de-risking a massive percentage of investing in your company. And the third thing is that now anyone can be an investor. And what we're launching as of March is we're going to be launching the 10 businesses that we've been incubating in the Bitcoin environment, and we want to launch a lot more as well. And you're going to have the opportunity to invest in them. You can start small, you can start with a tenner, you can do various other things, you can claim back lots of tax by investing in them, and very shortly you'll be able to invest with some of your Bitcoins as well in a regulated environment. Through businesses that have all been through a legal due diligence, regulatory process of making sure the businesses are who they are, and all the other things of making sure that the company is actually set up correctly. So what myself and Hakim have actually been doing is we've been incubating these businesses in different ones. So our first beta test, as it were, was a company called CryptoPay. CryptoPay is essentially the UK BitPay. But it was built upon the UK banking system and the EU banking system, so it clears faster than if you're using BitPay, which works off the American banking system. So it was built for EU and UK companies. So SeedCoin have essentially, what they do, we've kind of got a different process. SeedCoin is an incubation process, an ongoing process where they invest a fund that they've raised of Bitcoins into the business, give it its startup capital, and then work with the business over the years to make sure it's meeting all the right people and make sure there's a business case and really supporting the business together. What we do is we incubate businesses just to raise funds. So over a 4-week process, we've been helping businesses get their business plans done, their financial models done, qualify for the tax scheme, get the legal setup correct so you're ready for investors, value your company, create a video pitch, and create a pitch that you're proud to promote. So CryptoPay was our first experiment. If you go on banktothefuture.com right now, you'll see CryptoPay, which just launched. And in the first few days, with zero promotion, we haven't promoted it at all because we're waiting till March to do all the main things. They've raised about £12,000 from people that actually give a shit about what they're doing. And I'm really looking forward to where that actually goes. And we've got another 9 businesses. Now, what I'm really passionate about is the opportunity for all of us in the Bitcoin community to all invest in each other and own a piece of all the different elements of the different businesses, wherever you're at, whatever your financial situation, because equity crowdfunding encourages financial inclusion. And not only that, but a lot of the businesses that we've been working with, and some of them will also be working with SeedCoin, and SeedCoin essentially is a group of some of the greatest minds in Bitcoin globally that can make sure that they're meeting all the right people and globally scaling. And so SeedCoin are kind of taking over. Once we've raised the funds, we help them raise the funds, and we raise funds through equity crowdfunding so the Bitcoin community can all invest in each other. And I think it produces one fantastic, amazing opportunity to actually beat the odds of this risk that we call investing in a company, because most startups failed, as we know. However, when startups have a buoyant community behind them of people all promoting them, that all have self-interest and are all invested, I think you can increase the odds of success if we put that together. So we're working on several initiatives. We're working on masterminds. And there's lots of other really exciting stuff that I'd love to announce over the next few weeks as we do more meetups. But in a nutshell, if you are a Bitcoin business, then we really want to hear from you. And we've put together a really interesting support mechanism to help you get that business off the ground, get it funded, and make progress. If you want to explore that opportunity, everyone's got a purple or blue flyer in front of you. Just put your name, put your email, put your number, and then we'll get one of our guys to follow up, give you a call, find out about your business. Please hand those in to me tonight, and we can explore what opportunities we can create together. But the final thought before I pass over to Hakim to say some things on what they've been up to at SeedCoin, and we open to questions just to answer, is that we're kind of faced with the ideal opportunity here to completely democratize investing, completely democratize the payment system, and do it at the center of financial fraud called London. And we'd love for you to all be a part of it. And if you're not creating a business, then please do participate, become an investor, because I think there's going to be some really big opportunities coming along, and we look forward to sharing with you that as it goes.
Thanks, Simon. So yeah, indeed, the situation that Simon has described as far as England is concerned is a real game changer compared to any other countries around the world. There is nothing like the seed investments tax incentive that now enables people, rather than gambling not just on housing, but on dogs and horses, rather than having them gambling their money on dogs and horses, to be gambling their money on startups here in the UK and being able to get some tax return from their income tax. That's a unique setup. So it really means that as far as the UK economy is concerned, and as far as businesses, startups are concerned, they have a unique opportunity to gain access to finance, which at the end of the day is the game changer for any company that starts trying to grow. So at SeedCoin, indeed, we are an incubator, and we are looking after currently 8 startups around the world. We're talking to companies across the world, across the different activities in the Bitcoin sphere. And I must say that with this experience, there's one thing that every company needs to do in order to get funded, and that is to have a business plan ready that's making sense, having a pitch deck ready that's making sense, and if they have a video pitch on top of that, it's making them, giving them even more chances to actually be able to raise money, because people connect with people at the end of the day. So that's why what Simon is doing with Bank to the Future is a unique opportunity to get people ready for raising finance through Bank to the Future and further finance in the future. The kind of startups that we are incubating at the moment, the 8 startups, we've got 2 exchanges, 2 payment processors. We've got an integrator of payment processor. We also have a trading platform, a wallet, and also a very disruptive little hardware piece that I'm going to explain in a second. As far as the two exchanges are concerned, we are incubating DealCoin, which is an in-person exchange, and we're also incubating MEXBT, which is a Mexico exchange that is more of a traditional exchange integrated with their banking sector. As far as the payment processors are concerned, as Simon was saying, we are incubating CryptoPay here in Europe, and also we're incubating GoCoin, which is from Singapore. The trading platform that we're incubating was created by an English chap, Jolie. It's called BTC.SX, and it's a platform that enables leverage trades, whether on the buy or on the sell of Bitcoin. The payment integrator is called Coinsimple, and what Coinsimple does is basically enable merchants to easily switch between payment processor. This way they can choose which of the payment processor is the best after trying them, and at the same time they keep all their analytics in one single place. So if they were to choose processors, they wouldn't lose access to their historical data. The wallet that we're incubating is called Hive. Hive is a wallet that is extremely user-friendly. You can already go and download it at hivewallet.com. It's going to be a wallet for anyone to use, not just for geeks. It's going to be very simple for people to access the functionalities. And finally, the little piece of hardware that we're incubating is what is called a SIM shim. So it's basically the same size as a SIM card. It's very thin. And basically what you do with it is you remove your SIM card from your phone, you put this little piece of hardware on top of your SIM card, you place back the SIM card in your phone, and instantly you have a virtual SIM card with a Bitcoin wallet. So people like Apple, who no longer want to let people use wallets on their iPhone, can no longer do anything about it. So these are currently the companies that we're incubating. We're looking for companies across the world. We're, of course, very interested in the UK companies. I'm myself based in London. And really the purpose of what we're doing is to try and build a very strong ecosystem around cryptocurrencies. We need to have this ecosystem in place before we have another financial crisis, before the system collapses even further. Because if you look at the situation on a macroeconomic scale since 1971, since we left the gold window, since that happened, the amount of debt that has been made in the world, whether by governments or people or businesses, has climbed so much that we are reaching very unsustainable level. Before that whole bubble explodes, let's make sure that we have an alternative system, a resilient system based on decentralized networks, so that it will be there to help all of us when we need it. Thank you. Right. I think we're going to take a few questions.
Sorry, anyone have questions?
Who's got a business? Who's looking to do a business in the UK? Anyone looking to do a business? Oh, yeah? Yeah? Okay, great. Have you considered the options of crowdfunding? Yeah? Consider it, because really, when it comes to talking to investors, if you go to see investors and you say to them, if you invest money in my business, you potentially can save money on your income tax. Trust me, it's a game changer. They will appreciate the ability to save money from their income tax and potentially get paid by the success of the business that you're creating. Yeah, we got some questions there. Yeah.
Would you also consider using this crowdfunding model for charitable donation, or would your bank be interested in pursuing that move?
So we are equity crowdfunding, which means that people are investing for returns and an eventual exit, which doesn't fit in with the charity model unless you can think of something where it does. But today, a new platform launched from a friend of mine called Max Kaiser. It's called StartJoin.
It's called what?
StartJoin.
Not
StartJoin. Not MaxCoin. StartJoin. Not MaxCoin. Yeah. And I'm sure that will fit in with the charity model. It actually launched today. Actually launched today. So that might fit in with the charity model. We focus on for-profit UK limited companies, just because the regs and the model. Yeah.
I must add that with Bitcoin, it's so easy for charities to start receiving finance. Really simple. It's a game changer for charities as well. Gets them the money directly into their hands. If you have a charity in Africa that's working close with the people over there, or in any other country in the world, they receive their money directly, and it's much more transparent than what we've had so far. Paul?
Yeah. If one has an idea for a business and develop a plan in conjunction with Bank to the Future, do you then actually link up the potential investors, or how does that work?
So we have a database of approximately 6,000 investors, and as of March, we're going to be actively marketing to some of the Bitcoin millionaires that want to invest in the Bitcoin infrastructure. But please don't think that crowdfunding, whether it's Kickstarter or whether it's Bank to the Future, whether it's rewards, whether it's equity, you just create a pitch, upload the pitch, and then all these people just start jumping in. One of the things we'll work with you if we're incubating you is to manage your expectations about the level of work you need to do to market your pitch as well. So it's a collaborative effort. And you know, if there's one particular project that we're working on at the moment where we're exploring some really interesting like triple disruption, which is a business is raising equity crowdfinance for a disruptive finance crypto payment gateway that is also going to have investment from the SeedCoin fund, which has raised its funds through a Bitcoin crowdfunding type environment through a fund manager, investing in a crowdfunding, through an equity crowdfunding in disruptive finance. And these types of collaborations are all emerging right now. So, you know, there's a massive appetite to invest at the moment. And I just want to make sure it goes to the people rather than the venture capitalists.
I've got personal experience of working for a couple of companies backed by Kickstarter, and one of the biggest overheads was dealing with the people who crowdfunded and everything like that, because there were so many and so many demands. Do you guys help with ongoing investor relations when you have that many investors in the business, or do you guys step back once the funds have been raised?
Yeah, so we provide a portal for you to manage your investor relations. So all of your investors post-funding will be in a private forum within the Bank to the Future website where you can upload and update your investors, and then with a click of an email it will update all of your investors in one go, and the active ones. So for example, Bank to the Future, we've raised £700,000 in crowdfinance for ourselves. So we had our own dog food, we crowdfunded ourselves rather than, we turned down 3 VC term sheets to give it to the crowd instead. What I do is I update our investors on a monthly basis. And the ones that are actively engaged and can add some value tend to leave comments underneath or offer some support, so then we take it offline. But yeah, if you're taking on investors, you're correct. You're going to have an investor relations job, which is part of what you actually do. But yeah, we can support you in the incubator and how to manage that process, get the most out of your investors, and we provide a portal for you to communicate afterwards with a click of a button.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.